this year we made it to Lisbon, and here's what we loved most about our trip. Portugal is a beautiful country and Lisbon is a great summer destination. The food is great, the wines are delicious, the people are just lovely, and there are so many amazing things to see there. If you're traveling to Lisbon, here's what we recommend. Getting around the city. Top attractions to see in Lisbon. A few practical tips for your trip. Usually in Europe, public transportation is the best way to get around, and Lisbon is no exception. It's cheap, and in some areas of the town, public transportation works better than anything else. If you take the bus or the tram, you can buy tickets directly from the driver. However, it's more expensive, and if you take several trips in a day, you'll end up paying a lot of money. That's why I advise you to get the daily ticket which best fits your plans. The one-day ticket is valid for an unlimited amount of trips, and it works on all public transportation means, including the famous Tram 28. You can buy the daily tickets at the machines in the metro stations. For the first ticket, you will have to get a Viva Viagem reusable card that you'll use for your entire stay. Every time you want to buy a daily ticket, you will just top up this card at the machines in the metro stations. Taxi is another good option in Lisbon. In many cases, it is even cheaper than public transportation, especially if you're traveling as a small group. Know that you will pay extra if you have luggage, during the night, or if you order the cab at a certain location. Also, remember that in Lisbon it's not uncommon to hail a cab on the street. Uber and Bolt also work in Lisbon, but in my experience, taxi companies were a better deal. The Belém Tower is an important attraction in Lisbon. You can climb to the top of the tower for a stunning view of the Tagus River and the surrounding area, or explore the various rooms and chambers inside. It's popular and it attracts a lot of tourists, which means you can expect long lines. However, if you pay a little extra, you can buy skip-the-line tickets. The tram is gorgeous and so well preserved, and the trip was wonderful. However, we waited more than an hour to get on it, and that wasn't great. The tram leaves from Praça Martim Moniz and travels for about 40 minutes to Campo Ourique, where everyone gets off. My advice is, if you really want to go on this ride, instead of queuing for an hour in the heat at Praça Martim Moniz, you just take it the other way around. There is no line at the Campo Ourique station, and the tram goes back on the exact same route. You'll see the same things and won't waste an hour of your life, as I did. Castelo de S, or St. George's Castle, is a historic fortress that has served as a royal palace, a military barracks, and even a prison. It offers spectacular views of the city and features a variety of exhibits and attractions, including archaeological remains and medieval artifacts. We really enjoyed our visit, and we just loved hanging out with the cute peacocks that were just walking around the castle. Also known as the Sé de Lisboa, the Lisbon Cathedral is one of the oldest and most important religious buildings in the city. This iconic landmark is on a lot of postcards from Lisbon, and it's an attraction you shouldn't miss. The museum and the cathedral are very interesting, the church is gorgeous, and the views from up there are spectacular. The Jerónimos Monastery is an architectural jewel, but also a site of historical significance, as it houses the tombs of several important figures from Portugal's past. We've spent over an hour here because there are so many beautiful details to admire. It was one of my favorite attractions in Lisbon, and I recommend it with all my heart. monument is a tribute to navigators, cartographers, colonizers, missionaries, chroniclers, and artists from the age of the discoveries. It's an iconic landmark you shouldn't miss on your trip to Lisbon. Now this is a nice market. More like a huge food court with local treats, this is a good place to eat and drink in Lisbon. There are so many options to choose from. They have traditional Portuguese food, desserts and wines, but also international options like burgers or pizza. In the middle there are tables and chairs where people just sit down and eat together. If you're in Lisbon, you'll have to go see the Rua Augusta Arch and Praça do Comércio. On the impressive arch you can notice sculptures of historical figures like the Marquis of Pombal or Vasco da Gama. If you visit the arch, you'll see them up close, and you'll have a stunning panoramic view of Lisbon and its iconic landmarks. When I told my friends I was going to Lisbon, everyone who's ever been there said, "You must go to Sintra." So I did, and now I'm telling you the same thing. If you're ever in Lisbon, take a trip to Sintra. This is a stunning mountain area with lots and lots of castles, palaces, mansions, villas, and other impressive buildings. We researched the internet for the best castle to visit in Sintra, and we chose La Quinta da Regaleira. Words can't describe how amazing this place is. We spent a few hours there, and it was a truly magical experience. The huge park is filled with the most beautiful plants and flowers. There are all kinds of hidden spots, squares, towers, an initiating well, underground tunnels, and a small beautiful chapel. In Lisbon, you will eat many pastéis de natas, but none of them will be like the Pastéis de Belém. It is a delicious egg custard tart pastry, traditionally made in Portugal following an ancient secret recipe. There is a restaurant where you can sit down and eat, but there's usually a huge queue. We prefer to buy the pastries and eat them in the park across the street. Pastéis de Belém is right next to Jerónimos Monastery, which is where the secret recipe comes from. If you take the bus in Lisbon, please remember that you enter through the front and exit through the back. The locals care a lot about this, and you'll get some angry looks if you get this wrong. How much do we tip in Portugal? Tipping in Lisbon is not mandatory, but it is appreciated. If you are happy with your service, you can leave between 5 and 10% of the check. As in most big European cities, in Lisbon you will take a lot of steps and many of them will be uphill. In Lisbon, online skip-the-line tickets are a bit more expensive. Personally, I think it's worth it. However, if you are on a budget and a very patient person, you can save a few euros by buying excess tickets at the ticket offices.